So,
Mick,
I had my first post-30 fall today.
oh no, break your hip?
No, man. But I just turned 30 and was walking my dog to Connie.
Mm-hmm.
Bro, I do wonder how many people hear your burps in the background and wonder if like we're summoning Satan.
They are gnarly sometimes.
They just are like more roars than they are burps.
I try to get real away from the microphone.
But I was walking her. She gets really excited about the snow. She loves to just walk and lick it up off.
Mm-hmm.
And like it was funny because if you follow her tracks, there's just like pause and then like a streak from her mouth.
That's
and
funny.
then like just her paw prints. But anyways, she gets excited and she was pulling. And I've been trying to train her to not pull at all, just because when it's slippery like that, it's very hard to manage her feet. And so as she's getting excited and going, I pull against the leash.
Right.
But my pulling against the leash on the fresh snow makes me slide forward.
Mm-hmm.
You know, for every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. Well, my dog was not the reaction. My boots sliding across the snow was the reaction. And so I went down full on, like, there was a moment where both feet were in the air to the left before my knee, hip, and elbow on the right side landed. But I landed, and in the fresh snow mostly broke my fall. And Takani's sweet dog comes up to me and just oh my gosh, you know, she's like, you fell down. She's immediately like around me, hovering, trying to make sure I'm okay. I'm like, all right, let me make sure everything's all right. I'm like going through like what landed. I kind of get to my knees and then I stand up and I'm, you know, trying to make sure I don't react at her because I want her to behave that way. I want her, if, you know, Billie Jean or I fell, to come to us. Or if we were hurt, right? For her to come to her. So I'm trying to tell her, good girl. And then I tell her to sit so she just relaxes so I can get my bearings. And I go through and I got no pain at all.
Wow.
And I'm like, all right, well, let's keep walking. We'll see. And I could say, for a 30-year-old guy, I ain't got no pains or anything so far. And this was just earlier today, before I came to the podcast, that I took that.
Just wait till tomorrow.
Is that what it is?
Also, be glad you weren't carrying a 2011. You might have shot your pee-pee
That's
off.
true, because them be going off. But they only go off because 1911s go off.
I mean, yeah, you know, both the same. I mean, a hard hit, you know, like that's the sort of thing people don't think of sometimes. Like, I wouldn't fall. Well, you might fall.
Yeah, that's true.
Anyways.
That's also why I don't carry a 320. I carry a Flux Raider. And it's not pointing at my pee-pee. It's pointing at the ground behind me because it's in the backpack. But anyways, I just thought you'd find that funny.
No, yeah.
You know,
I mean,
it is kind of weird when you're like, that's my first fall into my 30s.
I mean,
it's probably only going to get harder to get up. I definitely didn't get up as fast as I used to.
I'll say this cold weather's got my knees have been aching the whole time it's been cold.
Yeah, when we're doing our walks, we usually go for 2 miles. Per walk, and I noticed on mile 2 yesterday I was having some serious creakiness in my right knee.
Are you walking in these boots?
Oh hell yeah, they're so comfy.
I mean, but they're not necessarily great for walking long distances.
Oh no, I think they're great because they are like, one, they're great for cold weather, snow, ice.
Right.
They're pretty grippy. And two, I think boots like this help you make the most out of walks because
you're up.
Well, I think they make you do the full stride, which is, you know, heel to toe, push off, heel to toe, push off, right? And I can really feel it in my calves and the back of my hammies, and I think like that's the point of, like, I'm a big believer that walking is the best workout if you do it right. If you take small steps while walking and do it, and like you get more steps, quote unquote, right? That's not the real benefit of doing long stride walks. And this is all just regurgitation from like a PT guy who was like, he told me, he's like, don't ever run with weight on. These dummies who are running with plated vests or weighted vests are stupid.
Really?
Don't run with weight. if you want to get really good exercise for your whole body and cardio, you can do short sprints of running to try to increase like your fastest time in like short distance. So like continually trying to run a mile faster and faster. But if you're going for distance and stuff like that, you can jog and run with no weight. But if you're going to do weight to try to do like, you know, more muscle development and like resistance exercise, you should be walking. You should be doing heavy weights, full stride walking. So like, all right, wear your 20-pound vest and ankle weights or whatever, right? But like, again, that will do more for your body than running because it's going to exercise more muscle groups and it will improve cardio and such. But you won't get the benefits if you're not doing the full heel to toe step in strides. Like if you're just walking like some homie around the mall, just daydreaming and not caring at all about your form. It's like anything else, right? You need to be aware of your form. So anyways, all I said, I like these boots because I can feel that they make me walk in the right form. Okay. And they have increased my time quite a bit. I've got my kilometer pace walking, not running. I've got my kilometer pace with the weighted vest down to right under 12 minutes per kilometer, which is on time for the classic 4 miles in an hour Naismith rule, right? Like you should be able to do a solid pace of 4 miles an hour. And I'm able to do that with weight. Nice. So that's good. I like it. I've been training. Anyways, all that said, that's my you know, first foray into old age. But before I forget, I have a gift for you. Oh man, it's exciting. I'm excited because it's your birthday gift. And yes, did I get it on my secret birthday trip with my wife? I did. But it was one of those things where I was like, you know what? We're kind of at a point in our lives where you're a friend of mine and your wife is now a friend of my wife. That when we're out places, I do think we think of you guys when we see things, especially when we're in Tennessee and Mace Windu, you know, would drag herself through broken glass to sniff the boot prints of Dolly Parton. So I was like, you know, like we gotta get her some Dolly something. Oh yeah. So I know Billie Jean got her a gift, a nice little cute Dolly Parton kitchen towel, not for you to use. Do not use that towel, Pat. Pat. The Dolly Parton towel is not for your dirty, greasy hands.
She needs to. We need to tell my wife to not use it because she's utilitarian sometimes. Oh, is she really? Like that stuff. She's just like, she'll use it up.
Dude, Billie Jean had a course correction for me when I grabbed the bright white Christmas towel in the kitchen, hanging from the stove. Yeah. Of course, to wipe off a mess. Right. And I was informed that's not what that towel's for.
Is it for drying hands?
No, it's actually, that towel's not for anything other than Christmas decoration. If I needed to clean up a mess, use the dirty, nasty black kitchen towel.
That's what I'm more like your wife in that way.
Really?
And Mace Windu's just like over there, like baby food, you know, cast iron skillet.
I always felt that, you know, Mace and I were kind of on the same psyche to some degree.
Yeah, just to, you know, it's a towel. You know, what are you supposed to use it for? Yeah. But I won't use it. I gotta relay the message.
Smoke break.
Smoke break.
Hey Ken, it's Mick, and I've got something important to talk about. We all hope we never find ourselves in a self-defense situation, but life's unpredictable. Enter the National Self-Protection Plan from Attorneys on Retainer, an actual credible law firm you can put on retainer for your self-defense needs. For just $35 a month, you get national coverage in all 50 states for criminal and civil legal representation in self-defense situations, complete with a 24/7, 365 toll-free emergency line. That's real legal support when you need it most. What's in the package? Bail bonds, scene cleanup, firearm replacement, even mental health counseling. Plus, 0 fees for a laundry list of defense-related costs like expert witnesses. So support the show and get yourself some peace of mind. Click the link in our show notes or visit our sponsors page to sign up for the National Self-Protection Plan from Attorneys on Retainer.
Hey folks, Pat here. If you're like Mick and I, you're a fan of classic tales like Lonesome Dove, Blood Meridian, The Three-Body Problem, and Steinbeck's East of Eden. With Audible, you can dive into these epic stories anytime, anywhere. Sign up for a free month, and your first audiobook is on the house. To start your free trial and support our show, click the link in the show notes or swing by the sponsors page on our website.
Want an awesome website for your podcast? Check out Podpage. We use it for the Mick and Pat show, and it's a game changer. Set it up in minutes, no coding needed. Support the show by using our link to get started. Your podcast deserves a home as great as ours. Podpage, the one-stop solution. Yes. Oh, and that said, too, you got me a birthday gift, and it's new headphones and new mics for the studio.
Oh, yeah.
Which is good because, honestly, I was going to ask you if I could take something home.
Oh, really?
Because I have quite a few videos that I've been recording on my free time that are very miscellaneous. They're not rants, right? They're just miscellaneous activities that I'm like, I recorded it. Why not turn it into content for the pod?
Oh, yeah.
So
a little voiceover mic action.
But I do need to voice them over.
All right.
Because the one is like the process of learning how to spray paint my rifle.
Oh, yeah.
Which turned out sick. Have I shown you the pictures?
No, not yet.
Well, it turned out sick. However, I also drank about 5 beers while doing it.
That's how you're supposed to.
And it got pretty wild at points. Just a man alone in a garage.
With a rattle can.
Flip-flops, rattle can, gas mask on. Yeah. Rifle hanging from the ceiling. It was awesome. It was a lot of fun.
Completely unloaded.
Headphones died, so I just started playing the music out loud. It was great, dude. It was such a good time. Let me show you. I'll pull up the picture here. But anyway, so there's that one. And then I did another one where I tested out a silencer for my FNX 45, which it wasn't like a very exhaustive testing, but it was cool. And I kind of just want to use the footage for a conversation about firearms and accessories for firearms, right? But anywho, what are these mics and what are these headphones?
I mean, the headphones, they're pretty basic. I think
hold on. Don't let anyone don't say that, man.
Yeah.
Don't say it, because most people here have no experience doing podcasts, so like these are pretty fancy to anyone else.
It's true. So I will say we don't go tippy top of the line. I do know good gear. I can be a bit of a gear whore, but at the same time, we gotta, we're balling on a budget.
We're balling on a budget
at the Mick and Pat show.
We are,
and so we've been for the past 2 years rocking the just some SM58 Shure microphones, which are kind of like your workhorse Ford F-150 just microphone. That's the most commonly used microphone everywhere, anywhere you're at. And we had some little pop filters on them, but now we've got some fancy Shure podcast microphones. And they're not the full. There is a next level up from here, and they're like $450 a pop.
Ooh.
I didn't get those, but these are basically Shure came out with a.
I was gonna say, I know for a fact we don't have $450 in our bank account.
Yeah, yeah. These new Shure microphones, basically, they're like that classic podcast shape microphone, radio microphone, and the biggest feature on them being, we've got a big thick pop filter on them, so that we're not blowing out stuff. It's got a better low end to it, and then also it's just some headphones that kind of upgrade our headphones to some higher end AKG headphones, so that we can, while we're recording, I'm kind of like mixing live and making sure everything's sounding good. And our other microphones kind of had a lot more background noise coming through on them. And so, we just kind of had to, we didn't have to, but I thought it'd be nice to make it a little more official. It's funny because day one in the Mick and Pat headquarters, we were in this giant office, not giant, but it's really long and echoey. and we were just sitting holding the microphones with our hands, talking. And then we're where we are now. We got a little studio set up with, we have, bass traps in the corners. We've got props. No, you're not a real podcast unless you have props.
It's true.
And things on the table and stuff around you. But we've got foam on the ceilings and curtains up and a big thick carpet on the floor to help with echoing. And so this
dog.
We got a dog now, and pretty big and fluffy dog. It probably helps with the audio quality in the room.
Mm-hmm.
And so now we've the microphone was kind of the next step. So hopefully our voices are coming through nice and clear for you.
This is the rifle. This is my 223 Wild.
Oh, nice.
I went for the multicam patterning across it. Really wanted to have I wanted that reptilian hex pattern, but also the multicam breakup of colors and things.
Yeah, no, this is sweet, and
then I'll give you another picture in a video so you can see.
And what? That's awesome. No, this is that's what you got to do. You got to paint your guns.
You got to paint your guns, bro.
If it's a black gun, paint it. If it's a wood gun, leave it alone.
Yeah, well, I mean, I would even paint a wood gun if it was a certain price wood gun. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I mean, just in general, people get scared about
spray paint on
spray
wood.
painting, or I mean, people get scared about spray painting just their black gun.
Yeah,
it's gonna work the same way. Just do it. Do what you want.
That's true.
Live your truth. You're just jamming
jamming out to music while recording.
Oh yeah,
pretty sick though, right? Looks pretty good.
Awesome.
And then I'll show you the pictures. So I picked the colors and kind of the style to match my ghost hood cone camo. And so I did take a picture of it leaning against the camo. But essentially the process I followed with that was the base coat of tan, and then the laundry bag hex pattern. I just put a laundry bag, across over it, and that was enough to mix it up and give it the hex pattern as I sprayed over. And then after that, I just drizzled it with soap. I did layers.
Soap method on there. That soap method video you sent me. Did it work?
I think so.
I mean, I said say.
I pretty much just did soap over it.
Yeah,
and then sprayed one coat of a color, then soap over that, one coat of another color, soap over that, and I did all that over after I had done stripes of various hex kind of scale patterns. So that's why there's hex patterns, but then there's different infill. It's because the soap filled in on the hex stuff. But anyways, so here you can see it right against my actual camo that I used as inspiration.
That's pretty.
And that's pretty 1-to-1, right?
That blends right in there.
Yeah, ghost hood camo brown.
That's awesome. What's funny is there's a Sig Spear sitting down the road for $3,500 with it's all camoed out. This camo looks better.
Well, who's Sig Spear is right down the road?
It's at the gun stop.
Oh, okay. All right. I was going to ask if they miss it or not, if we could get it.
Oh, yeah. No. But I mean, just stock, Cerakote, whatever. But
yeah,
the soap method is wild.
Yeah, and so I'm going to do the flux is next.
Oh, you're painting the flux.
I'm painting the flux up before next week because I'm going to bring it next week to blow Rice-A-Roni and Hoffman their mind away. So for those of you who don't know, next week we're having some guests on to review emergency individual first aid kit setups, as well as a not necessarily individual first aid kit, but a car first aid kit and how to kind of set those things up. And I'm bringing in all of my first aid stuff with what I currently have set up. And then I'm going to let them tear it apart and tell me what to put in it instead.
I like it. Now, I will say the we have talked about painting guns in the past.
Yeah.
And you've talked about defense weapons and like being careful about how you paint that.
Oh, yes.
So I'm like your flux is kind of
it is a
little
personal
bit of
defense
EDC.
weapon.
And
Yeah.
so are you like Stormtrooper? Or like, are you doing like a Hello Kitty pattern?
I was thinking about going like Iron Cross, actually, like really like SS, memorabilia stuff.
Oh, that's dangerous.
Yeah, I'm just kidding. I want people to get scared when they see my gun. No. One, if you hear that and you don't think that's silly and you think, no, I do want people to get scared when they see my gun. It's a gun. That will be enough to scare them. If you put the Punisher skull on your gun, it's not scaring them anymore. Mm-hmm. And in fact, that's only going to build a case against you in the court of law that you're a vigilante seeking to harm people because you're psychotically imbalanced. So here's what I'm saying. Paint your guns for the aesthetic purpose of, a spray paint helps protect against rust. It looks vibey. It's cool. Paint it for camo because black is not a color naturally found in the world, right? All that jazz. But do it right so you don't like jam up your gun and gunk it up. When it comes to personal defense weapons, like your handgun, a Flux Raider, or a more small SBR or SBS, when you paint those, you should actually go in the other direction. Make them look as probably harmless. Perhaps not a toy, right? We don't want the court to think that you don't respect the seriousness.
Orange tips on them.
Yes, but you are painting them to perhaps make sure you don't come off, in case you ever have to use it, you're not coming off as someone who wants to use this firearm. But this is more like perhaps a recreational tool, a sporting tool that you happen to have on you at the time of use, and you used it for personal defense. So I'm going with my Flux, the classic route of 80s, 90s jazz styrofoam coffee cup. Do you know the jazz design?
I think so.
Yeah, the jazz design is the classic white, teal, purple zigzag across the teal. You know what I'm talking?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. The classic ski jacket color.
Yep.
And so I'm going for that method to have it be more of like a sporting, cool, I use this in competitions.
All right.
Because I don't need my Flux to be camo. I'm not using the Flux in a hunting or even like, Red Dawn environment where I need it to blend in and not give my position away. But I might be using the Flux in a, bad guy, I need to pull it out of my backpack way. And at that point, it doesn't really matter if it looks like a gun or if it looks like a coffee cup.
Yeah.
So and I kind of think it looks sick. Yeah. I've always thought, like, if you're going to do it, might as well do it with a gun like that.
Yeah.
That, its purpose is to be vibey.
Yeah, for sure.
So
the Flux has some flair. It needs a little panache. A little bit in there. I guess you'll paint it with the stock closed. Actually,
I'm painting it with the stock open and taped, because that's one of the things they say is that you should tape the stock.
Right.
When painting it. So
I was thinking about the function of that. That's one where on the Flux, if you don't know if someone's listening doesn't know, basically there's a button you push and the buttstock like flings out.
That's what I'm going to go for.
I think that would be awesome.
And this is going to, that will be just literally on the body. I'm not going to make my Holosun aims that or the compensator. This is literally just the housing of the Flux. Because everything else will come off and could be used for a more serious purpose.
Yeah. I think that'll be awesome.
Well, explain the Flux. Sorry, I just want to show you.
No, I was just saying for the Flux, basically the Flux Raider is a chassis for pistol. So you take a SIG pistol and you drop it into this chassis system. That's a little bit simplified, but there's a button you hit and the buttstock flings out fast. And so when you're painting a weapon, you got to be kind of conscious of if you're painting parts of it that have functions that have to be, anything that has to move on there, you want to be careful about how you're painting that stuff. So I was just, you can't paint the part that pops out, because you can kind of gum it up, jam it up potentially.
If you put that layer on there, the stock's not going to spring out. And additionally, it's nice because most of the springs are already covered by the flux, when they're installed. But they've also said, like, hey, make sure you're removing your fire control unit and all that stuff, of course, right? So,
because are you gonna paint the upper too, or are you gonna?
I am gonna paint the slide down, but I'm gonna paint the slide to be that like vaporwave sunset orange. So it's gonna be like the top of it's gonna be like a golden yellow.
All right,
that just fades into like a orange, almost like neon orange red, and then I'm gonna just like weather dry brush the edges of it with like a pink.
All right.
So that way it looks kind of like if it, as it wears off, it looks like there's pink underneath it, but like not a Barbie pink, like well, honestly, if I just turn the computer here, you can see the background. Pretty much just going to go with like that kind of vibe, but more solid, less smoky.
It's kind of like this flux is going to have a Mick and Pat show vibe to it.
Yeah, it's going to be very, we bought it for the show.
It's true.
It's a tax write-off. I've heard for things to be tax write-offs, you just have to buy them and use them in one episode for it to count.
We've used it in a lot of episodes.
Yeah, exactly.
So there you go.
But anyways, all that said, guns and stuff, cool things. I have a gift for you, but you get to pick. And now, yes, I want one of these more than the other.
All right.
So I might be butthurt based on which one you pick. But that only adds antes to the stakes.
Oh my gosh.
Down in Tennessee, I went to Pigeon Forge in Gatlinburg for my birthday weekend. Okay, my wife surprised me. Was taking me to the Smoky Mountains, which I love the Smoky Mountains. And she took me down there for my birthday. We went out Thursday, and it was really fun with my group of our group of like dudes that we do our CQB classes with and all that. I was like, hey boys, let's do a little bit of reconnaissance research here. Here's all the facts of what I know. I know like we're roughly flying out around this time. I know it's a straight flight, no connecting. I know the weather where we're going is going to be roughly around this temperature for the weekend, and to expect some rain, yada, yada. Right. And everyone's like, all right, let's freaking figure out all the flights flying out of like Denver International Airport at this time. Based off those, what are the ones with this temperature? And we just were going through them. Like, I was like, if I had to bet money, I think we're going to go to Pigeon Forge, but I don't know which airport. And I had a couple dudes like, Knoxville. No, not Knoxville. It's going to be Nashville. Nope, not Nashville. Too long of a commute. And also connecting flights. And like, we were all just like geolocating everything. And then like we pinned it down, like perfect flight time, all that stuff. And so I sent a picture to the boys of the gate after we got to it. I was like, we nailed it, boys.
You guys
and of course
it.
I didn't tell Billie Jean because I didn't want to take the wind out of her sails at all.
No, of course not.
I told her we had made a guess.
Oh yeah.
But like, I didn't tell her where. And so when we got there, I was like, oh, this is perfect. I'm so excited. It is exactly where we thought I was going, but I'm so stoked. And I showed her the messages and she thought it was really funny.
Nice.
But,
anyways, that's awesome.
So we went there, and there's a place there that I love. It's called Smoky Mountain Knife Works.
Oh,
and it's like this massive knife warehouse store full of like probably 200 different, not 200, sorry. Probably about maybe 25 different tables, but each table has anywhere from like 1 to 10, 15 brands. So you probably have like 200 brands in total represented there, if not more. The only thing is that they used to have more local handmade knives. They just don't really now anymore. And the last time I was there was over 10 years ago. But they're like, I'm looking for like something that's made in Tennessee, yada, yada. And they're like, well, we don't really have a ton of those, but K-bar knives apparently are made in Tennessee.
Oh, dang.
I was like, I don't really want to get a K-bar. Like, that's pretty excessive. He doesn't need
bear killer.
He doesn't need a, freaking giant K-bar. I'm sure he already has a giant knife. I kind of want to give him something like that's cool, but also like will serve a purpose, like, something daily utility.
All right.
So I got us 2 knives here.
Oh my gosh, a knife.
They are the K-bar Defense Master Series in tandem with cooperation with Tactical Defense Institute. Now, these aren't just like Joker, okay? I want you to know, like, this is not like Chinesium, right?
Yeah.
Like, these are designed in partner with like law enforcement, right? To be specifically like knives that a police officer can use and rely on.
All right.
These knives, these are, you should never pull it out to cut like cardboard string, rope, anything like that, because they are made of very sharpened thin steel and they will chip on things like that. Like these are literally, I mean, these are really much designed to like cut through tissue and do it really well with a certain style of fighting. So you'll see when you open it, right? But here's the thing. One is FDE, one is black. I kind of want the FDE one, but if you get it, I don't want it anymore.
All right.
I'm just going to be bummed and grumpy about it.
All right.
Because you got it. I have no idea which one's which anymore.
Yeah.
The only thing I can tell is that one of them is 02 1481 and the other one's 01 1477. I have no idea which one's which. Okay.
So I'm just picking and I get the one I get.
Yeah, and technically actually K-Bar might be based in Tennessee. These are made in Taiwan. So they're kind of made in China. But these are like high quality stuff.
All right. No, I like it.
All right.
But
left or right?
What if I have a preference as well?
What do you want?
I mean, I'm not an FDE man.
Oh, okay, but I don't know which one's which.
All right, let's open this thing up.
All right, cool. So, they should be. Oh, sick! I think I got the FDE. I got the FDE wing.
Oh, let's go.
All right, so you'll see as we open these. Good. So there's
some nice bubble wrap.
A Kydex holster with the buckle.
It's just open. Oh, dang. Oh, it's a fixed blade.
It's a fixed blade that goes into a Kydex holster.
Yeah, this is sexy.
And these are punch blades.
Yeah,
so
these are awesome.
you essentially, the whole methodology is to rip it out and box with it. And let it be what you strike with. And a lot of guys, they want to hold it like this, right? Like you might hold a pistol where this finger groove rolls over the part of your finger between your first knuckle coming down from your fingernail for people at home, right? Okay, like, if you look at your finger, your first knuckle is the one that is closest to your fingertip, your fingernail. So that's first knuckle. Your second knuckle is the joint between that, and then your last knuckle is actually your knuckle, which you would use to box with. Like that tip is what you hit
so you
people
don't
with.
go second knuckle. You tuck it into third.
You tuck it in, yeah, because essentially you want to hold it and make a fist, thumb over, to keep it from being able to roll.
Oh yeah.
And you're slashing, but also jabbing, and you're jabbing just the same way you would with a fist. So even if and it's also like I was watching someone's like, if you hold it like this and try to strike out and like a little pokey, like you're pointing a gun and trying to poke someone with the tip of a pistol, you're a good chances as you're going for that jab, your thumb's gonna get caught on something, slide back, you're gonna tear your thumb ligament and pop it out of place, where you're gonna break your fingers, and the knife's gonna roll. So you hold it.
So
as you would,
rolled.
Yeah, you'd hold it like you would your fist for boxing, and then you're boxing out and jabbing, and if you need to do some hammer swings, right?
Oh my Lanta!
Doesn't that feel strong though? Doesn't it feel like it's going to make your punch like hurt way more? Not to mention cut someone's face open.
No, it's a mean old thing. I like it.
Yeah, and feel that seat on the Kydex.
Oh, that's nice.
That is a secure thing. Now, you may look online. When people look online, they may see police stopped carrying these, and the reason was police were carrying them OWB, so they were just carrying them on their like basket weave belts.
People are just grabbing them off.
Yes, people were pulling them off of them and killing them with their own knives.
Oh, that's not good.
So this, though, to me is like what we would have on us as like a secondary backup on the belt, but of course concealed.
Yeah.
Or on like on a vest or anything like that you want. But all that, anyways, I hope you like it.
No, this is sweet. I like it.
I hope we never have to use it. But feel the edge. Just like run your finger across it. Like it is crazy sharp. And
yeah.
like it scared me when I first felt it and like ran my finger across it.
No, and I think like, like the age of the Rambo knife is kind of done. As far as like, it's just not really.
I mean, just shaved off like
nice
clean.
Oh yeah, you just shaved your hand with that thing.
Yeah.
Because so that like the blade on this is literally
thumb length.
I'd say it's 2 inches long, right at it.
I think it's like exactly the length of my thumb. Maybe the blade is shorter. I guess the whole spine of the knife is the length of my thumb.
Yeah. So I mean, it's as long as your thumb, more or less. And so the the big old Rambo knife, while cool, the utility factor, well,
we don't use it as a bayonet anymore.
Multiple utility. Might be nice to have the big old Rambo knife to chop down a tree, but that's really, these smaller, compact, and particularly shaped knives are, have a pretty specific use, and I like it. I think this might go on the plate carrier too, Yeah,
that's what I was thinking about. Like, here's the thing: as a civilian, if you're in a plate carrier, you don't really need to worry about concealment anymore.
Right.
For the most part, but also it's kind of one of those things like if you're wearing a plate carrier and you're a civilian, you're probably pretty careful about who's coming up to you and getting remotely close to you. Probably way more cautious than a police officer or someone who has to deal with like people all day and just gets used to it. Because
I will say, if I'm day to day carrying a knife, I want something I kind of can cut cardboard with too. So I either got to go.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
You,
so
you have that one in your pocket.
Yes, you might have to double up, or like the depending on, I carry different things in different situations, right? So like day in, day out, this won't be like concealed on me all the time.
Let me say this though.
But go ahead.
Notice the orientation it comes in.
Mm-hmm.
What handed is it?
Is it lefty?
No.
Does it go in the band?
Yeah.
Righty? Okay.
It's right-handed orientation. What handed are you?
Lefty.
Yes. So now I'm going to flip mine around to be lefty oriented. So that way I can go for the concealed carry draw. And that's how a lot of these are like essentially marketed, or like not marketed, but designed for use, is that this is your punch back while you're going for your draw. If need be, if you need to create that space or anything. But also you get to do the cool thing from, Modern Warfare 2. You got your knife out for, the friggin' quick stealth or slash.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's more of a joke,
for
right?
The melee.
But it is like, honestly, that is like a very, that's kind of the point of like in the ideal behind this is like, this is a create space weapon. And it's not meant to be like your primary, but that said, what's your primary hand going to be doing? Going for your concealed carry pistol. So therefore it's great for a secondary hand.
Yeah.
And it doesn't take much you don't have to do a lot of training to get your non-dominant hand up to speed on punching. Right.
And I like this. The sheath on this is nice, where it's kind of inset on the top here so that you can
do that. Well, it's grooved too, so you can do that thumb push. Grooved,
so the thumb push gets your hand where it needs to be.
Yeah, it's pretty sick. You're going to have to, in the video for this one, you're just going to have to add pictures of this knife.
Yeah.
And so people have an idea.
I like it. And I love, there's been a lot of like Chinese versions of the K-bar, come out. But I love the origin of the K-bar. And this might be an overtold story, but do you know about where the name comes from?
I do, and I don't want to ruin it for you because I think you probably like telling this story.
Well, I don't know all the story. My version's short, but basically, back in the day, somebody wrote a letter. I don't know where the letter went to, but it was a little bit of an illiterate individual who, just saying that they killed a bar with the knife. Basically they couldn't make it out what it said. So they started making these knives, the K-bar, and it said I K'd a bar with this knife. But so K-bar comes from killing a bar.
What I understood
killing a bear.
What I understood was that it was the Knife. It was like based off of the Bowie knife,
Mm-hmm.
but designed to be a bayonet fixable knife.
Mm-hmm.
And like, you know, I think they were like some of the first like rifled, you know,
Mhm.
muskets or whatever, or Springfields. But anyways, from what I understand, it was a Marine at an outpost,
Mm.
and he wrote the letter while he was dying from his wounds.
Mm.
And all they could make out from all the blood on the letter and all
The
that
blood,
was
that's
KA
right.
bar.
Yeah, you're right.
It
You're
was,
right.
So it was like, oh, he killed a bear. We can't really make anything else out of it. Let's go check on him. And they got up there and like, he's dead. But the
Mhm.
bear was freaking poked full of holes. And they're like, damn, that's a good knife.
Yep.
And like,
Yep.
so that could be total FUD myth, but it is the story that I like a lot.
Yeah, but it's one of those ones where I don't care.
yeah.
That's what the ethos of it is behind. You
Mhm.
gotta get after a bear with that thing.
Yeah.
Super cool. No, I think I'm excited. It's an awesome gift.
Goes
Very
with
cool.
another Allen wrench.
Another
What I've
Allen wrench,
learned is
some
that I
extra
can never have
screws.
too many. So I'm always looking for one. And I have, at this
Yeah.
point, probably 100.
And
But I'm always looking for one.
I'm always losing one.
Yeah, that's
That's
true.
the thing. I'm always losing the one I need.
I just was so sad. I pulled one out of my AR's pistol grip because I was like, oh, I need a justice, and I put an Allen wrench up in here, and I pulled it out and I looked and I was like, oh, it's rusted to hell, and it snapped on me when I started trying to torque it.
Oh no.
So
Mm-hmm.
even nice, you know, a nicer one would be better. But, anyways, Tennessee, pretty
Mhm.
sweet. I'll
Yeah.
give like the high, you
Pigeon
know,
Forge, because you said you were excited to go there again. Had you been there before?
I had, but again, it was like 10 years ago. It was before the fires and stuff came through, and it was during like the fall.
Uh-huh.
And so when I went last time, it was like fall season, and I did a lot of ATVing and kind of stuff like that.
Did you go to the same amusement area?
No, this time last time I didn't do like anything other than like ATVing and zip lining and staying in like a little cottage.
Mm-hmm.
This time, Billie Jean and I, we went to the Old Mill, which is crazy deal for food. If you want to be able to feed yourself for like 2 whole days,
Mm-hmm.
go to the Old Mill. You get a ton of food, unlimited sides, and then like your entree,
Mm.
and it's more than enough to, you know, each entree is 2 meals on its own.
Nice.
And then we went to we were staying in Gatlinburg, which Gatlinburg is literally copy paste Estes Park. Like if you've been to
Okay.
Estes Park, it's unreal. Like you walk through Gatlinburg, you're like down to the like tiny little weird Swiss mountain town cabin vibe of the mall.
Mm-hmm.
It's very surreal. It was like the same firm built Gatlinburg and Estes Park.
Ah.
It was very strange.
Mm.
I sent pictures to Hoffman, who's a police officer up in Estes,
Mm-hmm.
and he was like, "I think you're in Estes." I'm like,
Yeah.
"Yeah, no, dude. Like it's really weird."
Mm.
But stayed there, and then we went to this new theme park or attraction. It's new to me, right? I think it's been around since just before COVID. It was called Anarchista,
Mm.
and it's like this top of a Smoky Mountain theme park where you take a gondola up to it. And of
Mm.
course, they don't have like really skiing there at all.
Mm-hmm.
It's in February, and there's like no snow anywhere,
Mhm.
right? And the hills just aren't that big. But you take a ski lift up, and you are at this really nice kind of like view. It's like literally like a theme park that's just designed around good views. But they have quite a bit of food and like kind of some nice like drinks and bars and stuff up there. And then they have like a tower. You go up the stairs and look around. You have this beautiful view all around you of the Smokies. And then they have this like wobbly rope tree bridge
Mm-hmm.
thing that you go through to get back to the ski lift if you want to go back down. And it's pretty cool. It's probably like 30 to 40 feet up in the air at most,
Mm.
but it's like rope bridges going from tree to tree.
Oh wow.
You know, that was really fun. And then they have a really dope light show at night that was pretty mesmerizing and very entertaining.
Mm-hmm.
They have like a total pretty sweet entertain kids for hours, like jungle gym area. Just like, you know, the coolest things for kids to kind of jump around and swing on super high in the air.
Mm-hmm.
Mountain roller coaster, like that's like gravity powered, right?
Mm.
So like you get your own individual cart. You're just ripping around going Mach 5 through the treetops. And then the last thing they have is like a zip line that you can use the zip line to get back down to the bottom.
Oh, nice.
Rather than taking the chairlift. The zip line looked pretty sweet.
Yeah.
It looked like you had a pretty good, distance on it. But Billie Jean's not, the risk-taking type.
Zip liner.
Yeah, and I'm not just going to go down on my own. And I think she would have gone if I'd pressured her. But we were also like, yeah, this is cool, but let's also go like walk around town and stuff. They have this thing there where it's like it's a winery mead place. And it's surreal. I've never seen anything like it anywhere else when you go to these towns that are really big on like brewing and stuff. You go to one of their 5 companies, like tap rooms, and each tap room is quote unquote a different company all underneath the same parent company. But we went to one and they're like, for $10, you get 10 samples here. And you go to any of the other places, you get 10 samples. And if you do all 5, you get a t-shirt at the end.
Oh, nice.
And the t-shirts alone are like, they sell them for like $30.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, all right. So we paid $10 for each of us. And dude, you get like easily probably like 2 glasses of mead, wine, or moonshine.
Oh, wow.
At like just about each stop. And it is the best wine I've ever had in my life. Like they had watermelon wine. You know what it tasted like?
Like watermelon.
It tasted exactly like watermelon.
But not like a Jolly Rancher watermelon.
Well,
like
it did
a
though.
watermelon.
It tasted like the best version of watermelon, but they're like, we don't use anything other than like watermelon.
Right.
Like we just freaking ferment watermelon. I'm like, that is unreal. They had blueberry. They had like a blackberry one. And the mead was really good. The ciders were good. And the moonshine was the best because the moonshine had enough burn that it offset how sweet the taste was on these like fruity flavors, right? And so the moonshine was also, it's like fortified, so it's like freaking like 30%. It's not real moonshine, right? But it's not like, it's also not wine.
Right.
But it was really good. We bought 2 bottles and drank them in the hotel room.
Hey,
that was awesome.
Yeah.
Went to a little local brewery, the Gatlinburg Brewery. They were pretty good. They had quite a few decent award-winning beers. And then a ton of, gift shop stuff, walking around, checking out local coffee stuff, local food. And they have this place there in Pigeon Forge. And Pigeon Forge is like, Pigeon Forge is kind of like, best way to think of it is like the preamble to Estes. It's like, it's a lot nicer than like Loveland outside of Estes. It's probably like think of like a bigger Golden in Boulder, less trashy, but like very touristy and very affordable. Like there's a lot of cool things to do, like Dollywood and all of Dollywood's other attractions. But it's like the preamble, like you're going down this one road that will lead into Pigeon Forge, and it's very exciting. But there's also just a lot of other cool stuff, like buy 1 pair of boots, get 2 pair free.
Wow.
And
that's
like
tempting.
It's all based around like families. Like families are what come here. So like dad buys his boots, the most expensive ones. Mom and kiddos' boots are free. And then there was a spot where it was called Duncan's Jeans. And it was all of the overstock or regular jeans from Wrangler, Carhartt, Levi's. And they had them sized on the wall, like in like the types where they were going. And dude, I bought like 6 pairs of Wranglers.
Oh, nice.
They were all fine. The only thing was like the size I would usually wear was way too small. Like it was sized small or listed as the wrong size. So then I just went a size up and everything fit like great, even with concealed carry.
Nice.
And all of them were like 50% off. So we got like a little over $700 worth of jeans before Billie Jean, myself, and a couple jeans as like gifts for people, expensive jeans.
Yeah.
And we paid like $390.
Wow.
And I buy jeans maybe like once every 3 years, 4 years.
Yeah.
And now I have like 6 pairs of Carhartts to just
load it up.
Yeah. I'm wearing some linen ones right now. Linen lined.
Oh, wow.
Loose fit. That was pretty sick. And then we did the Dolly Parton Stampede, which was sold to me. Now, I didn't pay for it. It was my mother's gift for my birthday. But I was informed it was a Civil War reenactment.
But it's not.
It's not a Civil War in it.
I didn't text you back because I was like, I don't know where he is, but all right. Well, and I've never been there, but I was like, I don't think that's what.
I don't think Dolly Parton is big on like violence, so they didn't shoot each other at all.
He texted me this Civil War reenactment. I was like, I thought that was maybe another like an additional, like an actual, like we're going down to see all like the dudes who just like, you know,
I really want to do that. Exactly. I really want to do that again
because like a true Civil War reenactment. That's awesome. I was like, I wonder if he's going to the Dollywood Stampede, and they told him that. But
well, there's the North and the South, and like those are just sides of the room. One side's the South, one side's the North, and that's the team you're on.
Yeah.
But they don't shoot each other. They play more like Stampede competition
Which
games.
side were you on?
I was on the North. The North did not. People on the North did not get nearly as excited for being on the North. People on the South were way more excited.
There's still a little more pride going on.
The North
down there.
won the night. We won, as you know, history would tell.
Right.
But like,
so what is the Stampede? So you get divided out into. Are you like in an arena?
It's kind of an arena,
like
style.
A rodeo arena.
Yeah, and you're sitting in these long lined tables, right? Crack me open one of those so I can crush it before Billie Jean gets here. Thanks, brother. But you're in this, like, it's like a bench seat, and you file in from one side or the other. And they're divided in like section numbers, right? So we were in like B5 or whatever, and it was great seats. It was like in the middle of the north side. Perfect side view of everything, good perspective. And there's a single server for your whole like bench of like, could be like, I don't know, maybe 20 people. And he just comes down the line dishing out food and
you get what
sodas.
you get.
You get what you get.
Yeah.
But you get a lot.
Yeah.
You get like easily the best. It was a cream of mushroom soup, I was told.
All right.
I hate mushrooms.
All right.
Holy shit, bro. I was having an out-of-body experience with this cream of mushroom soup. And Billie Jean's the same way. Like, we were both like, this is unreal. They don't give you a spoon because they know you're just going to drink it out of the bowl. And I did that.
These Colorado kids eating the food of the South.
I was sitting next to this.
Oh, my God.
I was sitting next to this guy, this couple from Kentucky, and they were really friendly. And I'm like, no spoons. And he's like, that's why they got a handle on the bowl. And like, I was like, oh, all right, bro. And but dude, it was so good. It was so good. And then there was, I think a roll as well. Yeah, roll. You get like this soup and roll. And then they come out and they like just freaking drop your like full small chicken on your plate. Like it's a complete chicken per plate. And then they put like pulled pork down as well, and mashed taters and corn on the cob. And man, it was so much was coming out so fast that I couldn't keep track of it, and I was just trying to destroy this chicken. It was easily the best chicken I've had in a long time.
Nice.
Like the seasoning was unreal. Billie Jean, though, we found out was allergic to horses, which we didn't know beforehand. And so like post soup, she started like having rattling breath.
Oh no.
Like literally I was like, and I was okay, are you all right? And she's like, yeah, I'm fine. I just having a hard time breathing. She was actually like panicking internally. And I knew she was panicking, but I knew she was trying to keep it together. And so I just kept on checking in with her like, hey, do we need to go? Do we need to go to the bathroom or something? It's okay, we can go. And I kept telling her like, it's okay. It's I'm not mad. I won't be upset. Your health is a priority. And she kept on being like, no, we're good. And I'm like, all right, she wants to be tough. I'm gonna let her be tough. As soon as the show was over though, we went and like, she was having like a momentary, like, wow, I really cannot breathe.
Oh my gosh.
So we did some Benadryl and then we went back. And then we had more cider.
And moonshine.
Yeah, Benadryl moonshine at the hotel, and it fixed her right up. But we didn't know she was allergic to horses before that. Because I guess everywhere else she'd been around horses. It was like very open outdoor. Maybe it's the bison. Because, bro, they fucking opening act.
Yeah.
They let out like 4 bison. just running around. And these bison are running around. You can tell these bison are all amped up. And I'm like, I was so shocked because I've never seen bison move like that. I've only ever seen like bison in Colorado just chilling, eating grass. And the way these bison will run around and herding together and putting their horns down forward. They did that in like some huge, like easily 10-foot span Texas Longhorns.
Oh, man.
And I saw those. I'm like, those are people in costumes. There's no freaking way I'm seeing with my own eyes bison losing their marbles, getting chased around with horsies. But no, it was sick. And this one girl came out, easily the most like hottest cowboy chick I've ever seen in my life. Like she's in like, you know, like the red spandex outfit, but the reason she's so hot was because of her athletic ability.
Oh yeah.
She came in riding, her feet planted on the backs of two horses, standing up, just riding around the whole time, never sat down, just like rollerblading on horses. And then she jumped through a loop of fire with these horses. And I just was like, it was crazy because some people were just sitting next to me eating food. Like couldn't be bothered. And I'm like standing up, waving my hat around like, oh yeah, let's fucking go. Like just losing my mind, dude. I was like, how are you people? So she's running around, one hand on the reins, waving her arm in the air. Like, cheer for her. This is clearly and there's like, she's from Saginaw, Michigan, which like I used to live in Saginaw, Michigan. And they're like,
she's like avoiding death every second.
I'm like, do you guys know what this is? How insane this is? The horses were also like very well trained. Billie Jean pointed out. Billie Jean was like, look how steady their backs are. Like they're very well trained with their running and trotting to keep their backs as level as possible. But
still,
yeah, it was unreal. I was like,
a hoop of fire.
I was like, you know, the only time I've ever seen this. Abraham Lincoln Vampire Slayer, and it was CGI. Yeah. I could not process what I was seeing with my eyes. There's a couple other performative acts that are really cool. Like they do like this black light one that is definitely for like, I think kind of kiddos and young ladies, little girls, where it's like butterflies and everyone's like got black like butterfly and giant flower petal costumes. That was really sweet. And then there's like quite a few just like patriotic ones of just like honestly people being pioneers and working together to go across America and all that stuff. There's no violence, there's no conflict until the end when it's like, all right, North versus South, let's do some rodeo relays. And that was pretty cool too. They did like a little piggy race, relay race. They did chicken chases where kids from the audience came out and chased chickens. Oh yeah. They did quite a few where they actually pulled audience members out. They did like toilet seat horseshoes. That was awesome. That was funny. And then they did a water bucket relay with a bunch of audience members. Oh, nice. That was pretty funny because the South's bucket straight up had like bullet holes in it. And ours I don't think did, but it was like as soon as the dude picked up water out of the big barrel,
just leaking out
it was spilling everywhere. I'm like, oh wow, they have no chance. It's totally rigged.
It's rigged. This is rigged.
So stuff like that was really fun. And the food was delicious and excellent. I drank 2 beers and 2 like moonshine cocktails of Dolly Parton's, and I was a happy camper.
That's awesome.
And they give it to you in a boot. It's not a real boot. It's like a baby's boot. But it's still a boot. Yeah. You get to drink out of it. It's pretty sweet.
Yeah. No, I love it because the things I haven't been there. I want to go there someday. But like live performance is kind of like a fleeting thing.
Oh yeah.
And like that sort of like, and this is like arena performance. It's like, it's just cool. Live animals, people, light shows. Here's the thing. You know,
everyone there wanted to be there. Like I'm not talking about audience members.
The performers.
The performers and the servers. Like Billie Jean looked it up. And turns out they make $30 an hour base. Plus whatever tips you give them. And the tips go straight to their Venmo. So like they have their Venmo stuff up everywhere for you to Venmo them a tip. So that way they don't have to worry about waiting for whatever. And then I was trying to look up what performers get paid, but I couldn't find it. But they get paid really well, like very easily. Like, dude, that guy making $30 an hour plus tips, and he does it, Friday nights, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then has the rest of the week off to do whatever other second job he wants. That's real good living.
And dude, I mean,
and Pigeon Forge.
Shout out to old Dolly Parton,
dude. She's a saint.
Dolly
Parton's a saint,
and I think she's a capitalist. I like it.
I like it too. Here's the thing, bro. Before I had been to Pigeon Forge, I was like, I get it. She's a Southern belle with a big rack. Like, who doesn't love her?
Right.
And she seems nice and has no controversies about her. Then you find out she literally like saved the state of Tennessee during like mines being shut down, and pretty much was like, we're gonna give everyone a job in the state of Tennessee. And you're like, oh, so she is literally a saint. Like, it's unreal. It is pretty crazy though. As you're leaving, it felt very like, I don't know how else to describe it. It felt very culty, but like you're leaving and exiting the stadium to go to the gift shop, and there's just a giant portrait of her with like flowers just right above the stairwell, so you have to just see her in flowers. And I was like, feels weird. But I get it, dude. People love her because she is a saint and she did a lot for that state and those people. So I like her a lot now.
That's awesome.
I'm a big fan of Dolly.
That's awesome.
Also, she's a great singer.
Hey, she's legit. She's not just she's the real deal. And I wonder about if you feel the same way, like going to that show, watching it happen. Did you feel excited about like, I want to come back here again, but with kids? Yeah. No, dude, here's the thing. Billie Jean and I we both said this, but we could not stop thinking the whole time about how perfect Gatlinburg and Pigeon Forge would be for, Pat and Pat's family. Like the whole time we were there, we were just like, dude, this would be the best thing to bring kids to, especially because you can get a really great like Airbnb cottage thing with separate rooms, and it's like not stupid expensive like it would be to do that in any other mountain town in Colorado. And everything there is like oriented around the family. Like every attraction or thing you go to, every store is oriented around like keep the kids entertained, dude. And here's how you know like they got it down right. There are cheap dollar store, like Family Dollar toys in every single place. Oh yeah. And it's like everyone knows your kid doesn't need something from Pigeon Forge. What your kid needs is just another cap gun to keep them occupied at the, outside of the hotel room and horsing around until you could get to the next fun event together as a family. Yeah. And like, they got it. And also, there's this place called Three Bears. They got it nailed down. They're famous. They literally got 3 bears out back. It costs like $3 to see them for kids. Real live bears. Real live bears. Dang. You just go upstairs. They're like, bears out back, $3. And there's real live bears out back for you to show the kids. And then you come back in, and guess where you come back into? The gift toys. Shop. Yep. Like the whole place is a gift shop. The whole place is a souvenir shop. Yep. But the toys are right there next to the bears. Oh yeah. And it's awesome, man. I loved it. And like the whole time I was like, we got to come back. I not only do I want to go back for Billie Jean's birthday, but I do want to go back with my kids because it is, one, a beautiful place, but two, it is so family friendly. Yep. And in fact, those sorts of things are going away. Yeah. Like they are fleeting. They are, like even in the same way that, let's say, even Estes Park is different now than it was 20 years ago. Oh, for sure. Like just like the, especially like the family focused touristy stuff. And I get it. I always think of the scene from, remember a Goofy movie? Oh, really? Yeah. And they go, like, Goofy takes Max to see the, that, like, Hillbilly Hicks show with the animatronic, what is it? I know what you're talking about. Yeah. What's that animal called? Possum. Animatronic possum, and it's like, it's weird, and Max doesn't like it, And you can tell even in that movie that came out a long time ago, this kind of fleeting thing of like,
he's just trying to enjoy a moment with his boy before his boy goes to college.
Exactly. And like how same with like the movie Cars, where like that town has just died.
Yeah.
It used to be like the spot to go to.
Yeah.
Like that like, 1960s, 70s America, where people weren't getting on planes to go to Italy. They're getting in their cars and their Volkswagens and taking the family to the Rockies and to the Smokies and, up Route 66 and like seeing all these things. And you're going to go see the world's biggest ball of yarn and then go see whatever this dinner show, like that sort of thing. It's fleeting and going away. And then they're like the Dollywood Pigeon Forge stuff is like, it's a holdout. And so I want to take my kids. I want my kids to have that experience. And there are cheesy aspects to it, whatever, but also like it's done well too, where it's like, I want to take my kid here to see this. It can be a special thing for them, a special family memory, family focused thing. And so there are still things like that you can take your family to, but the Pigeon Forge, Dollywood, Gatlinburg is still like a holding true to that whole thing.
It is. And like you see it in like the pricing of everything. Like I never saw anything that felt like they were gouging me for like, hey, if you want to get here and you brought your kids all this way, you got to cough it up.
Yeah, bears, $30 a pop.
Yeah,
and
no,
like, bro.
Don't get me wrong. There's stuff that is like, we got to, they took our pictures somewhere. Oh, they took our picture at the Great Stampede, and then they have an individual person come up to you with the picture book. They like find you in the crowd.
Yeah. And they will sell it to you for $60 or
yeah,
whatever.
and they're like $60 for this and like the booklet. And I'm like, it's a great picture, but no. But at the same time, you see like the cost for kiddos for that event is like $20,
right?
Versus $60 per parent. You see the tickets for kids to all the attractions are deeply discounted. There's super friendly kid meals everywhere, and even the bars and like live event stuff is very kid friendly and appropriate to bring them around.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, I was just thinking like sometimes it's expensive for Billie Jean and I to go to Estes.
Right.
I can't imagine what it's like to try to take your kids
for a bad buffalo burger
to Estes for a day. You know what I mean? And like, you're right. Like, it's just like, it's one of those places where like you want to go somewhere and you want them to be like, hey man, thanks for bringing your kids. Your kids are cheaper. Like we're not going to milk you for everything you got to just bring your kiddos along here. Like we're happy they're here. And that's just not the truth with most places nowadays. Most places are like, you brought your kids? Dope. $60. Same price as you. And it's like, it's just brutal. And then places like that also wonder why things are dying and they blame it on anything but greed. But anyways, all that said, it was a blast. I freaking love it. We met so many great people. I made a lot of good friends. As Billie Jean says, I just make friends with anyone who's willing to talk and listen. One of the sickest things was, dude, I flew back. When we're flying back, Frontier, Billie Jean and I were in like different parts of the plane. But I sat down and there's this black dude against the window coming from, he's from Los Angeles. And he was connecting back to Los Angeles, flying back from Tennessee. And then there was this, middle-aged white lady in between us. And she was talking to him quite a bit about stuff. And then I kind of was listening down my head and talking to her. And like, I can't remember entirely what it started on, but then it got kind of political and we're talking about like, Trump and the new stuff and people appointed. And she was super based. She was super duper based and had lived here in Colorado in like Grand County and Summit County. And she lived in Grand Junction and Granby. And I was like, hey, I just want to know your thoughts on good old Heemeyer. She's like, I think he did everything right and harmed nobody. And he had every right to do what he did. And I'm like, damn! For those of you who don't know, look up Marvin Heemeyer. Rest in peace. Rest in peace, Marv. But anyways, I saw that. I was like, this chick's based as hell. And like, turns out she's like, her and her husband are super strong believers. They're pastor kids. They support a collegiate mission guy. She knew what the NAVs was, and I had done the NAVs in college and all that. And we just were talking about all that stuff in faith, and And we talked about politics and all that, but there was things like I don't think we quite disagreed on, but there was a lot of things where I was like, ooh, I just don't know about that. I don't know enough about that subject or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
She was really gentle and patient to like not try to like be wacky and force me to believe things, right?
Mm-hmm.
Some mountain people are freaking wacky.
Yeah.
But then we were talking about faith, and I started talking to her about some sermons and stuff, and then like biblical masculinity, and how at our church there had actually been guys who had been offended by some of the biblical masculinity callings and had left our church at points and stuff, or were challenged by some of the things our pastor preaches on as what is the church supposed to look like nowadays. And she was just talking about how she has a pastor living in her house now with her and her husband. He's just so burnt out of people like just leaving the church because they can't seem to have a conversation to just talk about, be like, hey, I'm just not sure I agree with you on that, pastor. Could you sit down and explain it to me, XYZ, run through these things. And instead people would just rather be like, well, I don't believe in Jesus anymore because the pastor says something I disagree with. It's like, okay, I don't know if you ever believed in the first place. But anyways, we're talking about that. And the black guy decides he's done listening like his music and stuff. And he's like, and he starts nodding his head. I'm like, oh, wait a second. Like, did we just get a whole row of believers here? Are we about to have church? Bro, and like, it turns out like he was like, he just started throwing out some like freaking fire. And he's like, yep, I totally agree. And I really think the biggest thing Christian community, like the Christian church is struggling with right now is like true community, and how communities are not going to be perfect, and that you need as another believer to bear one another. I'm like, my brother, dude, you just literally like took words right off the page of Dietrich Bonhoeffer's book, Life Together. So then I'm going into like my favorite content, which is Life Together from Dietrich Bonhoeffer. And bro, we just had freaking church, baby. It was a Sunday when we flew back, but it was awesome, dude. We were just living it up, talking about, just what it means to truly bear one another as believers, how gossip and withholding forgiveness in your heart is like truly poison to a fellowship.
Yeah.
It will kill a church body. And just like going through, and it was just awesome because we're just talking and like everyone's like all through was like, yes. And it was great, dude. And I could tell there was people ears perking up around us. No one ever like chimed in. No one ever said, shut up, you wackies or whatever. But I could tell everyone was kind of like peeking their heads and turning, and I could see a couple heads nodding. I could see a couple confused faces, expressions. But it just felt good, man. And Kason, hope you're well, brother. Praying for you and your family out in LA. They live in like the heart of LA and saw a lot of people lose their homes and stuff.
Oh yeah.
And then Cammie is the lady that I met. But she's a snowbird now and lives in like Havasu during the winter in their house down there. So I don't really think you need prayer. You're living it up in Lake Havasu. Just kidding. I hope you guys are having a fun time. But anyways, it was a good trip, man. It was a blast. It was super fun.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That sounds like a good trip. It's fun to go on this trip because it was a surprise. You didn't know. I mean, you knew because you had your secret squirrels out there, locating. But at the same time, like
it was fun to be surprised, man.
Big 30th, have a trip planned, go out. It's a fun surprise. Get some time away. Super wholesome, like and just awesome, good time, and then capping it off with a good plane ride back. That like, what I love about interactions like that is how like faith strengthening they are and hope giving they are. It's just like, oh yeah, I'm not the only one, and not even close, not the only one.
Yeah,
like,
it was super. I mean? It was super. It really poured into my cup.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. It was very encouraging. And it was just like, it was just cool to see two people, because it's one thing to meet another person who says they're a Christian, but dude, when you meet people who are like, they can get into the meat with it and be honest, and not, they can talk about the problems in the church without it being like gossiping or slander. Oh, dude, it was dope. It was so good.
Yeah, or without it turning into like a weird, like,
don't Christians suck?
Yeah.
It wasn't that at all.
Yeah. Or even if they are, it's just like not being able to agree or whatever. Just
Yeah.
like, no, like this is like, we're aligned in this, and that's a special thing.
Yeah, no, it was lovely. But anyways, I think that's kind of all I really wanted to run over. This is a short episode, but I just really want to give you your birthday gift, because your birthday's next month anyways.
Yeah, it's coming up.
Now we got these sick ass knives.
Oh yeah.
I'll be carrying mine. I
Yeah.
got the belt for it. You know, here's the thing I got to figure out. Configuration. Where does it go on the belt? Where's the best place for it to go for the hook and hand grab, and it's not in the way? Because I carry 2 backup mags in addition to the pistol, and so it's
I think it's because if the main carries on the PP,
yeah.
this is on the 3 o'clock.
You think that's 3 o'clock? But I'm not going for that with my dominant.
Right. So,
for you, it's on 3
yeah,
o'clock.
My 3, but for you, it's your
My
your
9.
You know,
yeah.
but it's the 9. It's like
Yeah.
back 9.
I was kind of thinking. I was thinking 9 to 8 because I'm like, ooh, let me grab my wallet. That hand reach around to the back, then come back with it. Anyways.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go home and play with it in the mirror.
We just like to LARP, man. I hope we had never have to use any of these tools.
Yeah, dude, I'm
And
freaking
we just role play the whole time.
mirror LARPing this thing tonight.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, me too. Speaking of which, the CQB video should be coming out soon. As soon as Mick here is finished with the video edit. It's a lot of work because I've been adding muzzle flashes and blood effects.
Nice.
So it's an unreal amount of work.
Yeah, that's a lot. That's like editing a movie.
Yeah. It's like probably I would wager close to 4 hours of footage recorded.
Oh, God.
And it's not that the event was over 4 hours. It's just like that. It's that many like total in video footage I've been going through and editing down. And then after that, you get down to like, you know, your 10-minute cut and you're like, all right, got to cut it down more unless this is going to be an explanation video. So I'm cutting it down to like just the freaking action music montage, sick video. And then I'm having everything else just like playing with breakdown. And that can be like, you know, put up in our episode here so people can see like, listen to us breaking down the CQB stuff while also seeing footage of it. But the next event's happening soon. And this time it's going to be a night event. Well, it's going to kind of night. We're going to start in the afternoon.
Twilight.
Yeah, we're going to start in the afternoon, but because it's winter and sunset's so early, we'll get to use nods. And I don't own nods. But I do own a flashlight. And if there's anything I love doing, it's ruining people enjoying expensive stuff.
Yeah.
And I want the guys to come in with nods and us to be op 4 and just
with
flash
flashlights and beat them.
Yeah. Yeah. Just like shine flashlights in their freaking nods and then shoot them.
I'm bringing my mag light from 2001. I'm going to win.
Hell yeah, bro. That's so sick. Mag light duct taped to the Orbeez.
14
to the
D batteries.
Yeah. That's amazing.
$14,000 freaking quad nods.
I don't think there's a gun in the world that feels as good as reloading as it does to put fresh batteries in a mag light. Like fresh batteries in a mag light is an unreal vibe.
It's beefy.
Just makes such a solid sound. Like you're like, oh,
we got power for the next 2 hours.
Yeah, this flashlight's gonna be bright. It's like to this day still like one of the dimmest things in like your home.
It's so horrible.
Yeah,
it's so funny. I
great
should
nightstick.
Maybe I will bring my own mag light just so we can compare like what a 2.5 foot long mag light looks like compared to a
Candela,
a 2-inch long freaking Surefire. Oh my gosh.
I am though. I'm pretty stoked for that. Just because there's a lot of guys I know who have been practicing with their nods. But I haven't ever done any like very tight quarter stuff. Like their practice is like driving a car with nods on, setting up a tent, hiking,
walking, flat range.
Well, a lot of them actually don't just do flat range. A lot of them go for like real night hikes.
Right. Or so like flat range shooting.
Flat range shooting.
Actual like firearms manipulation.
And I feel
should I get the smoke machine out for that?
Oh, yeah.
Should I haze out the room?
Smoke it up, dude. That way they know what it's like to have nods on and be like, shit.
I can't see anything.
I can't see anything. I got to take the nods off. I will say this: if we bring the smoke machine, I'm sure some dude's bringing us. I know 2 guys with thermals. I bet they'll bring them and attach them to their helmets, so that way they can have the sync up between nods and thermals, and that would be sick for everyone to see. Like, see how you can't see the smoke through the smoke. Now see with thermal, you can see the 3 dudes on the other side of the smoke. That'd be dope.
That's cool.
Anyways, we're doing that, so we'll have a whole nother advanced breakdown of CQB, and it'll be cooler footage because it'll be green.
Yep. We're gonna have to get a green camera.
I have a
Old school cam.
night vision, not a cam, but I have a night vision monocular that's digital.
Oh yeah.
That I'm sure we could jury rig up.
Tape to an iPhone.
Yeah, something like that.
I like it.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Cool.
Oh man.
All right. Well, hey, thanks for joining again, Ken. Thanks for wishing me a happy birthday because I know you're doing it. I can hear you. It's well past my birthday by the time you're hearing this, but thanks for saying it anyways. It's the thought that counts. I hope you are encouraged by this. I hope you enjoy our episodes. Leave us a like and a comment. Check out our links to our stores and our products. Pat, I think this last year we made a whole $100 off of Amazon.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's
so
impressive.
someone is buying, our liquid death and dude wipes.
Yeah.
But anyways, check that stuff out. And check out Primary Arms. The link's right there. If you're going to buy gun stuff, get it on discount and let us get a kickback for referring you to Primary Arms. Don't tell YouTube because YouTube is taking videos down that link to Primary Arms. So click the link. Don't tell YouTube. Anyways, all that said, thanks for listening, kid. Pat?
Till next time. Thanks for tuning in. If you love this episode, drop us a review. If you have qualms or comments, leave us a voicemail on our website. While you're there, check out our latest news, merch, and deals from our sponsors. Till next time, Ken.